I've been a group fitness instructor since 1980. I'm an author, TV host, mom, wife, and dog mom. But I got sick and almost died from toxic mold exposure. I spent years researching alternative remedies instead of prescription drugs to cure myself, my husband, rocker Ted Nugent, and our son Rocco. I'll share what I've learned about healthy living and how to be happy in difficult times, some current events, and always end with something to make you smile. This is Simply Shemane.
Simply Shemane is powered by Patriot Mobile, America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider.
Welcome back to Simply Shemane. You know, so many things have changed in our world. 6 months ago, who would have ever thought we couldn't go to church, we couldn't have graduations, we couldn't have holidays and birthday parties and get-togethers, we couldn't go to church. There's a new normal, but fortunately, things are starting to change, and it's interesting because we have once again rediscovered what's most important to us, and that's our faith, our family, God, our country, and music. What would life be like without music?
I love music. I love God, family, country, freedom, the Constitution, and I love you.
Aww.
Right.
I'm gonna have to give you a kiss for that.
Come on, baby. That'll
Aw.
inspire me.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. I think, you know, originally I didn't plan to have you, but when I was telling you about this show idea, you said, first of all, you'll drive me to the studio. And
Yep.
then I said, well, if you're going to come and drive me to the studio, bring your guitar.
I always have a guitar with me. I always have certain hardware with me, including my wonderful 1964 Gibson Birdland from Kalamazoo, Michigan, that has such a touch. What a great feel, what a great expression. God bless the American freedom that gave us Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard and Jerry Lee Lewis and the soundtrack for defiance and individuality. What a great, great experiment in self-government this is. And we're celebrating it on your TV show.
Yes, but I'm glad that you're here too. Tell me about who was your inspiration, the biggest inspiration out of all those musicians you just rattled off.
Well, geez, like I said before, Les Paul had just electrified the guitar just a few years before I was born. And so there was Duane Eddy and Dick Dale and the Deltones and the Ventures, and certainly Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Little Richard. I think of all, it's a toss between Chuck Berry and Little Richard and James Brown, all these defiant black musical forces that were so soulful and so emoting, and they had such a work ethic that they played with such intensity because they practiced so much. So that's what all my bands and all your favorite music and everybody's favorite music comes from musicians who are inspired by the freedom of expression with rock and roll and rhythm and blues, but the work ethic to hone our craft. So that's a powerful force in not just our American dream, but that's the definition of all working hard, playing hard families, whether you're a carpenter or a plumber or a welder or electrician or a farmer or a rancher or a cop or a teacher. That work ethic is the soul of America.
Well, will you stick around? Well, you have to stick around because you're driving me home.
Yes, I am, and I love driving you home.
So stick around. We'll be right back with more Simply Shemane.
Patriot Mobile was built on the values of Americans. We are humbled, recently achieving the highest customer satisfaction among all wireless providers. As America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider, you'll receive great performance, and we'll donate a portion of every dollar earned to support your values. Try a wireless company that really cares about you and your values. Call us today, mention Shemane, and get our best promotion.
Not too long ago, I went down a rabbit hole and I started researching about what was really going on behind the scenes and in politics and in government and around the world and in Hollywood. And I stumbled upon a documentary called Out of Shadows. I contacted the producers and asked if they would do an interview with me about this breaking news about Out of Shadows, what they discovered working in Hollywood. Check it out.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
This media that we're consuming at such a rapid rate, we need to slow down and think about what we're consuming.
Bullshit going on.
What if the people in charge didn't have our best interests in mind? Now we have to ask ourselves, who's influencing our content?
Is the CIA involved in Hollywood?
Yes.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining me today. I am so excited. I've been looking forward to this interview for a long time, and I'm really excited to introduce my guests, Brad Martin and Liz Crokin, who are combined producers along with two other people of Out of Shadows. You've heard about this, and I watched the documentary, and I have to say this is the first time I was able to get my husband interested in what's going on. I mean, he's always been interested, but he's out hunting and he's out doing things. And a lot of times people are just busy with their own lives and they don't know what they don't know. So I want to thank you guys so much for bringing this all to light. I wanted to start out before I turn this all over to you, because I have so many questions for you. But one thing that I really love is that you start out on your website with a quote from Ephesians 6:10 and 20, put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. And isn't that the truth right now?
Yeah, we're in a spiritual battle, and we're all people of faith over here, and the topics that we cover are very dark, and it addresses, rituals that are done and trafficking that involves children done by people who literally worship Satan. So it's been very important that we have stood firm in faith, and we've prayed over this project a lot. And that is how we're able to do this work, is because God has his hand on us and on this project. And so it's been very important for us to keep God at the forefront of this project and to give him all the credit for all the amazing exposure it's getting right now.
So for those who don't know what we're talking about, how can you describe your documentary briefly?
Out of Shadows for me is a way to explain to the world the propaganda machine of the entertainment business, and how there is an entity out there, a dark entity that is trying to control the consciousness of the masses. And we just want, regardless of whether they believe us or not, the purpose of this is to bring attention to that. This is supposed to be a mellow red pill to kind of get into the psyche of the people that we couldn't quite reach. Because the more aggressive you are, the more shut off people are to receiving that information. From the reception that we've had on the internet, I feel that we hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want to have happen when you put a project out there, especially a documentary film, is that people watch it. So thank you guys for taking that chance, for being bold and brave. Has there been any backlash? Like when I went to the White House and I had dinner with the president, I posted a photo and I got death threats. Have you received anything like that?
Well, I've been doing this work since 2016, and so I'm used to getting backlash, and I got a lot of backlash back in 2016 and 2017 for covering Pizzagate and the child sex trafficking, but that nobody was really covering it back then. So I have gotten a little backlash since the documentary has come out, but the accusations that have come out against me are just ridiculous. You know, people posting photos of me from parties in Hollywood, and it's like, hello, in the documentary, I say that I was a journalist who worked in Hollywood. And so obviously, yes, there's going to be pictures of me at parties in Hollywood because that's what I was paid to do. And we talked about that in the doc, we addressed that. And because of my background in Hollywood and media, that's what I think makes me a more reliable source to cover these topics, because I was in those circles. You know, I met a lot of these people that we talk about in the documentary. And, you know, Brad has a background in Hollywood as well. But, you know, for me, I really haven't gotten much criticism at all, which is amazing. I'd say that 95% of the comments that I'm seeing on social media about the doc and myself are positive.
Right.
And also just the other thing too, we were talking, Liz and I, we all have this little group chat going too, last night, and somebody was rousting us, and Liz or somebody said, just let the Anons do the work. And so I took a tweet actually from somebody that was rousting us, and I retweeted it. I said, anybody want to help me out here? And it was exactly that. They just got burned. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then that person ended up locking their account.
Right.
We don't have a problem with people, you know, debating us or giving us constructive criticism, or we don't have a problem with people disliking us or disliking the doc. It's what I'm concerned about is the slander. When people come out and they spread flat out lies about us or the documentary, that's the stuff that I will not tolerate. And that's when I get my lawyer involved. But people don't have to agree with us. People don't have to like us. People don't have to, you know, like the documentary, but at least be honest about it, you know, have an honest debate about it. Don't smear and don't spread lies.
And I would lay down a challenge for anybody that's not down with what we're trying to share with everybody is please fact check everything.
Was there ever a time when you went, maybe we shouldn't?
I know in my life, you wouldn't even believe the stuff that I've been through and the things that the cabal has done to try to silence me and try to destroy me. You know, I started speaking out about this in 2016, and my dog was poisoned, and I've been physically attacked. I have had all kinds of bad actors and spies try to infiltrate my life. And I just, you know, I've had my email and my website attacked repeatedly. And, you know, I've just dealt with all kinds of horrible things for coming out and exposing the truth. And I also was censored and blacklisted by the mainstream media when I started talking about Pizzagate. But with that being said, I have faith in God, and I believe this is what God called me to do. And I've always stood firm in my faith, and I knew that God would protect me. And I knew that, you know, regardless of the hate and the attacks, that this was the right thing to do. And, you know, whenever I have felt bad about myself or was feeling sorry for myself for the things that I've had to go through to be on the front lines of this war, I always think about what the kids go through and, you know, how they've been silenced and how they've been tortured and how they don't have a voice, and the sacrifices that I have made and the things that I've gone through is nothing compared to what these children have dealt with. And that's what's kept me going.
Can you explain just a little bit for those people who have no idea what we're talking about? Explain a little bit about your history, Brad, and then Liz, I'd like you to do the same.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been a Hollywood stuntman for the last 28 years. I was a A-lister basically. I doubled George Clooney for 7 movies. I was Spider-Man, Batman, Daredevil, Robin. I got the Taurus Award for Best Stunt Coordinator in 2007. I was a stunt coordinator for Live Free and Die Hard, and I love my work. Through the years, just the quality and the PC culture, the quality has dropped and the PC culture has increased, and I've just kind of, the love for my craft has slowly gone away. And to the point where I felt like I was just fighting to keep my morals. And that's something at some point I'd love to talk about with you or with anybody. I mean, just Hollywood is such an immoral place, and it just pulls all the good out of people. It's so horrible. And I was a victim to that to an extent, for sure. And I noticed it in myself, and I couldn't have that anymore.
And Liz, you've been an investigative journalist for how many years?
I got my first job in news as an intern for Fox Chicago when I was 17 or 18 years old. And I went to journalism school at the University of Iowa. I also got a degree in political science. I was working as an intern for a White House reporter by the age of 21. I got my first official salary-paying news job as a reporter for the Chicago Tribune's wire service called City News, and covered hard news and local politics. And this was back in the early 2002 or 3. Then I got my own column in the red eye edition of the Chicago Tribune that was a celebrity column, and it did very well. I broke a lot of stories about celebrities in that column. So I got recruited then by Us Weekly, and overnight became their most traveled freelancer, and they would fly me around the world covering some of Hollywood's biggest stars, such as Britney Spears, Angelina Jolie, and Brad Pitt. And so I hopped around from different entertainment magazines for the next, 10 to 15 years, working as an investigative journalist, but also as an editor for some magazines. I got very ill in 2012, which was the result of a sexual assault. And after that inspired me to become an advocate for sex crime victims. I wrote a book about my story called Malice, but I had very severe health problems because of this, so I couldn't work full time for many years, and really hit rock bottom, lost, my income, my ability to work, went on disability, went on some welfare programs. I went from here to just totally down in the gutter, but that brought me closer to God. And I believe that all the things that happened in my life prepared me for this moment. And so my experiences in Hollywood, my experiences in politics, my experiences in the media, and then my experience as a sex crime victim is, I think, what helps me wake up much faster than anyone else. And so in 2016, I saw how the media had gotten so corrupt, and I saw how they were just spreading vicious lies about then candidate Donald Trump. And I had covered him for years as a journalist, and I used to go to the Apprentice finales in New York to cover The Apprentice, because I was good friends with Bill Rancic, who won the first season of The Apprentice. So I was working in Chicago, and he was from Chicago. And, I got to know Donald Trump, now obviously he's president. But I got to know him and his family. I had done a one-on-one interview with Ivanka, and Eric and Don Jr. would come to Chicago a lot, because then they were building Trump Tower Chicago. And I got to know them, and I did reporting on them, and I knew that they were just wonderful people. Mm-hmm. And everyone loved them. Everyone embraced them. Hollywood loved them. Politicians loved him. But the second he announced he was running for president as a Republican, everyone flipped on him, and they got nasty. And they said not only horrible things about him, flat out lies. And it made that within itself made me physically ill. And I could not sit back and allow a media that I used to be a part of just lie about him. I felt that I needed to stand up for this man, and I did. So I got back into journalism almost full time in 2016. I started writing for Town Hall, and then I started doing investigative journalism for the New York Observer, and did a lot of pieces covering the election that did very well and went viral. And then in October of 2016, the Podesta emails came out, and I read them immediately after they were released. And within doing a few hours of research, it was very clear to me that they were trafficking children, and Pizzagate is real. And that's when I started covering Pizzagate, and I haven't stopped since.
Brad, are you worried at all about your future as a stuntman? And what do you plan on doing from this point on? What's your next move?
Well, yeah, of course. I took this step because I'm not worried. But I also took the step knowing that it may be the end as well. So what's next? I'm not entirely sure. Mike and I have a couple big goals with Liz that we're talking. I mean, I don't know if I should be saying anything now. I'd like Mike to be on with us right now about in terms of what we have in mind, but we have some big, huge ideas, more like free market ideas for entertainment. And then also a couple of our own projects of our own that we'd like to bring to the table and share with the world.
I've never in a million years in my life expected the blessings that we're receiving from this project, because I have 15,000 emails here. I don't even know how many 100,000. I'm so overwhelmed. I can't read it all. You know,
I need to get an assistant.
Man, I mean, I was hoping we would get like 10,000 views by the weekend. Like I didn't, I was praying that it was funny. Someone called me and goes, man, dude, what was your marketing plan? I'm like, I went on 3 small shows, or 3 shows that were, not mainstream. I wouldn't say small, they have large audiences, but those 3 shows. And then I prayed for the spirit of revelation every step of the way through this project. We prayed every time we filmed. We prayed over every segment for God's voice and work and will to be what this is. And wow, if you don't believe in God, man, you better look. It's happening right now, like right now.
No matter what happens with the president and the deep state, what is going on, there are different beliefs floating around out there. There's one thing that's absolutely undeniable. There is a shift that's happening.
Oh, paradigm shift just took place.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. What the coolest part of this thing is that so many people are sharing it and they're trying to hide it.
Yeah, I'm checking right now. We're at 7.3 million, and YouTube has been censoring it. So when you go in and
that's awesome. That is awesome. Because here's the thing. People are going, why can't I find this?
Yeah.
Why won't they let me see this? And I'm like, well, hello, did you watch the doc? I mean,
it's perfect. It's perfect.
It just actually validates our work.
It's awesome. And other people are texting me, dude, they're getting 1.8 million views on this other site. I go, I don't care. I hope so.
Have you thought about releasing it on streaming anywhere and another? You always thought about YouTube or what?
No, I have a plan. I can't reveal my ninja plan. I had a backup plan. I had a backup plan because I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but I'm pretty sure that we're being protected by the good guys. And that's, say, first of all, there are no credits. So there's no credits, because that was one thing. We gave no credits and we didn't charge any money. And it was like, it was put out for one reason. Here's some facts you've probably never thought about. Mm-hmm. And we're putting them together with the most credible sources and research information that we could come up with in a cohesive, digestible pace, because you can't just open with, level 5. You got to let people go, whoa, wait a minute. Maybe I am being tricked. They just got to have that first. And then all the other stuff will start happening.
So I got a chance to talk with Brad and Liz. And I want to ask you, have you seen anything in your work that has given you pause and has stopped you in your tracks? And what was the instigation for you to do this? The inspiration?
It was all Jesus Christ and God. I mean, I met the Holy Spirit for the first time. It took 50 years for me to meet the Holy Spirit. I mean, I went to church for years and never felt anything. But when I got touched by the Lord, and look, man, I got paralyzed. God paralyzed me, so that gave me 2 years of sitting around rehabbing and researching. And so he started revealing things to me, and I started realizing that the spirit world was real. And that's where we're so deceived. Like, because I thought my therapist was a nut job when she started telling me she wants to pray over me, because I didn't believe in any of it. I'd given up my faith. I was like, done. I don't believe in this. But then I started seeing things and started kind of it was literally, I just give all the glory to Jesus Christ and God. He told me he healed me from being paralyzed. He showed me, basically he removed me from the system. He showed me what I knew was real. And if I didn't do something about it to stop these people from doing their evil stuff, there's going to be a day when I stand in front of God and he's going to go, hey man, I showed you this stuff and you knew it was happening. Why didn't you do something about it? And I was like, I want God, when I stand in front of him, I want him to be proud of me. So I was like, okay, God, he was very specific. Move out of California, move to Tennessee and build something for the Christians. But first you have to wake the people up. And so I started making this documentary 2 years ago, and it's been a lot. It's gone through many iterations and with lots of prayer and discernment, just trying to figure out what's the right thing to say. So I would pray, God, let your will be my words and your words be my will. I have no agenda, because I knew this was going to be heavily, heavily, heavily attacked. Mm-hmm. Right? So it had to be credible. We couldn't charge money for it, and nobody could take credit for it. Those were the three things he told me. And we did that. And if it wasn't for the bravery of these patriots right here, Liz Crokin, she's got ovaries of steel. I mean, she is a badass. Okay? People could trash her, they do whatever they want, but that girl was telling the truth, because I was researching the truth. And as I researched it, I was so appalled at the way that this was all going. So you got to understand, you don't just wake up in one day. Mm-hmm. Waking up it's a process. It's not an event. You start looking at things on your own. Don't call someone up and ask them what this is. Go look it up. If you have a question about something in the documentary, don't ask your friend what you think to believe. The truth is learned. It's never told. You have to go look it up.
If you want to watch the full interview I did with the producers from Out of Shadows, go to my YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Patriot Mobile was built on the values of Americans. We are humbled, recently achieving the highest customer satisfaction among all wireless providers. As America's only Christian conservative wireless service provider, you'll receive great performance, and we'll donate a portion of every dollar earned to support your values. Try a wireless company that really cares about you and your values. Call us today, mention Shemane, and get our best promotion.
Welcome back. With me, I'm so excited, is my friend and interior designer, Christi Proctor Hurst. Christy, you've got a lot of fabric here. What are we doing?
Well, last time we talked about finding your kaleidoscope.
Yep.
And you wanted me to kind of go a little bit deeper into that. And so one of the things I like to do with clients when we work together, and I think I did this with you, is what do you like to wear? What colors feel good on you? And you're pretty easy in that department because you have specific likes and you have specific not likes.
This is true.
So
I know what I don't like when I see it.
Uh-huh.
And I have this thing that when I do like something, you know what I'm going to say. It's just a girlfriend thing. Yeah. So next time we'll be here and we'll have a glass of wine and we'll really tell the truth. But for now, we've got all these color swatches.
So one of the things I like to do, and I wish I had some big boa things, because one thing you can do is wrap something around your face and your hair and stand in the mirror and not look at anything else and take these things, like this is one of my colors. And so I love to do this in the mirror, look at yourself. See?
So.
And I think look at that. Like.
Really?
Shemane of the Seven Veils. I mean, that's
really?
Where we are, right?
Okay, so we got that one. Okay, this is not going to
be... See? It's pretty, but it's not you. Now, I really think that you can do this color very well.
But wouldn't that wash me out?
Not with your makeup.
So you put it on like to see? We should make masks out of these. I mean,
maybe the world's most expensive masks.
Yeah. This is one of my colors.
It is.
This is one.
See, and look what it. You can't see it.
No,
I'm
I can't
telling you.
see.
Look what. But it's popping your eyes.
Oh.
See.
People say I have green eyes, and they're so light. They're light blue.
I think you're
Depends on what
probably
I'm
one of
wearing.
those human beings that your eyes are affected by what you're wearing.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, yes.
So see, that color you have on and that color, those are all colors that I would work with you in your palette. You can see I've put on things that work for me.
Yeah.
I'm more fall. You have a more spring.
Is there a spring, summer, winter, fall color scheme?
There's supposed to be.
Okay.
Back in the day in the 80s.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yeah.
What's your color? What's your season? And so they kept telling me I was a winter. I'm like, I'm not a winter. I don't look good in a hot pink.
Oh.
But I can wear warmer pinks. So like this one right here.
That's winter? I would think like grays would be winter.
No, it's the clarity of the color. So a winter color has a really crisp.
Like the jewel tone.
Yes,
Okay.
really crisp and really intense and saturated. Whereas I love saturated color, but like a fall color has a warm undertone. So a winter has a cool, thus the term winter. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I can do this color.
That's pretty on you.
Because it is a little bit of a hotter
Yeah.
pink. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the colder the color, the less like I can't do this. This
No.
washes me out like
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, that's all. And you got a lot more over
Yes,
there too.
yeah.
So what do you do with these? You also make bedding?
Yes. So I have a shop
And
downtown
you
Waco.
lit up when I said that.
Yeah,
When you
thanks.
said yes.
Yes.
Because you love doing that.
I do.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love product design. And that's one of the reasons I started my bedding company, which is called Moon Rain, REIN, like the reins on a horse. And that's how it started, was just me playing with things, doing things that I wanted for me and my clients. You couldn't buy anywhere else.
So people can come and say, I want a bedspread made of, and they pick their own colors.
Right. It can be velvet, it can be linen, it can be camo. I mean, you know.
I know somebody who likes camo.
I do too.
And with us, we have a couple of rooms. Ted's got a man cave that we have wood on the walls. We got reclaimed wood. You found that. Reclaimed wood. And also, I can't wait to show the photos of the wood on the ceiling.
That my husband did.
That your husband
Yes,
did.
yes.
And you also, your husband also made the doors,
The barn doors
Barn
to
doors.
Ted's man cave have, my husband's a bit of a welder. He's a fabricator. He's an artiste, he thinks. So, but he's good.
He is.
But my husband is also an archer. And so he was so excited when you said that we could make the doors for Ted because he loves that Ted bow hunts. And so he built the bow handles for
Did
the door.
he make that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He made all those. Yeah.
You guys make a good team.
We do. He's my cute little Brit.
Aww. He
Not little. He
is.
wouldn't like that if I said that.
Well,
He's my cute Brit.
okay. Well, how can people find you, Christy? I know how to find you.
You know how to find
But
me.
how can everybody else find
Yeah,
you?
so ChristiProctorHurst.com. That's a mouthful, but it's Christy like CHRSTI, Proctor with an O, and Hurst, HURST.com.
And you're also doing one other thing I want to just touch on briefly, if I can.
Yeah.
You do a Bible study.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited you said
And
that.
you lit up when I said that
Yes,
too.
so we're working on a new project where right now we have a Bible study in my shop on Friday mornings at 8:30. And any woman, it's sort of a kind of an all-encompassing girl thing. And we share with each other, we pray and we cry with each other and everything. Well, we're expanding into another building and we're going to have a mezzanine in that building.
So awesome.
And we jokingly call it the upper room, but it's going to be a prayer room and a meeting room for women.
The first time, you're my church buddy.
Yes.
We go to church together.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time we went to church together, you just started bawling. And I'm like,
She was like, what's wrong with
Christy,
you?
are you okay? And she's like, no, I do this all the time.
Every time I just start praising God, I just cry.
But so now I'm like, people probably look at us and you're bawling your eyes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, here she goes again. No, at least I get it now.
Yeah,
It kind of
yeah.
did freak me out at first.
Yeah,
but,
sorry.
everybody's going through something.
Yeah.
And it actually didn't freak me out. I felt the vibe, and my inclination is, how can I help?
Exactly, because that is your gift. You are an amazing, so caring human being. I've never met anybody that has such a big heart.
Aww.
And so now I'm going to make you cry. Really?
It doesn't take much, really. Like, you remember the Folgers coffee commercials?
Yeah.
When the mom wakes up, she's in bed, she wakes up and she smells coffee and she's like, Daddy's home from college.
And you're like, Rocco?
Seriously, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna. I'm afraid you're gonna have to go now, Kristy, because you're making me cry. But you'll come back again.
Oh, please.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. I wrote a book. It's called 4 Minutes to Happy, and it's tips and tricks that will change your life in the pockets of your time in just 4 minutes. You don't believe me? Well, what if you tried to hover over a chair for 4 minutes? If you were doing wall squats for 4 minutes, you would feel that a lot. So think about the little things that you can do in the pockets of your time to get healthier and happier. I describe them all in my book, and it's available on barnesandnoble.com and amazon.com. Get yours today. Some of you might not know, I have been a group fitness instructor for 40 years. That's right, 4 decades. I first started teaching group fitness classes basically to my dorm room when I was in college around 1980, and I've been so in love with teaching group fitness because it helps me to stay in shape, but it's also an opportunity for me to connect with other people, and it is a little bit of therapy because during that hour that I'm teaching a group fitness class, I don't focus on myself and my problems. I focus on everybody else and making sure they're happy, but in the meantime, I get a great workout. So get your dancing shoes on, and I'd love for you to check out this workout video. All you need for today's workout are small dumbbells, lightweight dumbbells. These are 5 pounds. Lightweight dumbbells I would think would be 2 to 3. These are medium light dumbbells. So grab your dumbbells, and if you're not going on the ground, maybe you want to have a mat, maybe you don't, you're okay with the ground, but that's all you need for today. Okay, we're going to start with a big deep breath, inhale and exhale. Again, deep breath, inhale and exhale. Reach all the way over and pulse. And other side. And deep breath, inhale and exhale. Hands on the thighs, bent knees, round the back. Oh, that feels so good. Stretching the low back and all the way up. Again, exhale, all the way up, tuck the chin to the chest, and roll the shoulders. It's a good idea to rotate the wrists both ways and also the ankles to prepare the body for warm-up for what's to come. And we're going to rotate the shoulders all the way. And other way, nice and slow. I never want to do that one fast. And one more time, deep breath, inhale and exhale. Round the back up, hold it here. So just from the side view, your back is rounded, okay, not flat. So our back is rounded. From this position, what you're going to do is take one shoulder and point it towards the opposite knee. You should feel that stretching in the low back. And other side. Ah, that feels so good. And let's do a couple of those. Flat back and round. And flat back and round. Flat back and round. Can you hear my dogs panting? All the way up. Nice deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to twist and reach. Here comes Coco. Hey, Coco. Twist and reach. Twist and reach. And back and forth. Here she comes. Come on, Coco. Oh, boy. Hi, sweet girl. And other side. Twist and reach. She's not quite sure. Coco's going to start biting my ankle, which is a whole nother workout. And right here. Yeah. she's gonna start biting my ankle. So from this position, ow, we're gonna go ahead and reach down, and now she's untying my shoelace. We're gonna reach down, grab our dumbbells. Again, mine are 5 pounds. You might wanna experiment with this without the weights first, and then you can always add them, right, Coco? So we're gonna do bicep curls. The knees are always soft. Arms are in front of the body. We want to extend those arms all the way, bring them back up. Now, here's what we're going to do. This is why we're doing lightweight. We're going to go back and forth. Right, Coco? She's mesmerized. Hey, there's no extra charge for the dog entertainment here. Just wanted to tell you that. So we do this too about fatigue. Again, our knees are soft. We're using large muscle movements, a lower body. So you're going to hear me start to get out of breath. This is really interesting. We're going to bring the arms right here, twist and punch. Twist, this is called a jab, okay? And what you're going to see me doing is rotating my back foot. Rotating, again, we're engaging the entire body. Coco really likes this one. I'm afraid that I'm going to step on her. She's going to untie my shoelace. Oh, yeah, it's untied. So we're squatting, twisting, pivot. You know that exercise we did, that stretch we did at the beginning? Twisting and pivoting. Yeah, the whole shoelace is going to be gone in a minute. Well, that'll keep her busy, right? So by now, if you don't already start to feel it in the shoulders, you really should. So twist right here. Maybe you need heavier weights. I'm already getting out of breath. Hold it right here.
Boy, that is so greasy. I love greasy music.
You love just like fiddling and what do you call it? That's not...
Noodling.
Is it noodling?
You like this? I just went...
I love that.
Yeah, that's what I like too.
Yeah, you know, it's adventure. It's almost like Lewis and Clark of sonic bombast. That'd be a name for a great TV show. Ted Nugent and the Lewis and Clark Sonic Bombast Adventure. Be my Sacagawea.
But it's not this show.
Actually, it is in its own way, except this is Simply Shemane.
You've got it, yes. But would you stick around? We've got some viewer email and funny pet videos.
Love viewers and love funny pets.
Diana,
I love Diana. How you doing? You did a great job. We love having you part of this.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love it.
So you have a couple of questions for me.
Yes. So we did have someone, Sarah from Milwaukee, wrote in, and she wants to know, is keto right for everyone?
Well, it's funny because I've been in the fitness industry for 40 years. I've tried every diet. And if you're talking about diet to lose weight, for me, keto works. But here's the clincher. It might not work for everybody. You have to become your own investigative sleuth and find out what works for you. For me, I don't eat foods or a certain diet to stay in shape. I want to feel better because I know what it's like to lose my health. And I've had trouble with certain foods. I pretty much minimize carbs. Once in a while, I have a piece of his potato or French fries.
A piece of my potato.
I will, like literally, I'll go, okay, it's one of those little mini potatoes. I can have that.
And she's in such good shape, and it makes me very happy.
I thought you were going to say maybe that you were jealous, but no, I'm
not jealous because I'm 72 this year. And even though I'm expanding a little bit in my older age, I'm still cocked, locked, and ready to rock, Doc. I'm still very active, and we eat a lot of wild game. So the hunting, fishing, trapping, conservation lifestyle is the nucleus and the foundation of the ultimate diet. Venison, wild game. Every chef comes up to us in all the restaurants around the world, and they like to meet the whack master because they go, I think the wild game is the best basis of the best meals. I don't know what accent that is, but somebody in Bulgaria said that. And they're right.
I've never been to Bulgaria.
Every chef, when Anthony Bourdain, God rest his soul, and Andrew Zimmern on their shows, and Wolfgang Puck, they have always come up to me bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and going, you know, the only real free-range chicken is pheasant. Wild game is the best diet, and it's the healthiest, most nutritious. And if you want organic, you should go hunting.
Don't you even feed that to your dogs as well?
You know,
they have a really good.
We butcher a lot of our own deer and our own antelope and game, and there's always scraps on the skeleton. Instead of throwing it away for the crows, we take that and make the ultimate dog treats, and the dogs love it. And it's like wolf food.
And it's good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But the most important thing is you have to find out what works for you. If I said to you, only do keto, but if you had some symptoms from that, like bloating or whatever, you have to figure out what works for you, whether it's vegetarian or veganism or keto or Plato or whatever the diet of the moment is. I'll be honest, I have a modified keto diet. I stick mostly to keto, lots of wild game. Every day we eat wild game.
I think an active life and sensible portions. We go to restaurants with friends, and the size of the portion, I'm not exaggerating, the size of the average portion I see across America would feed 5 Nugents.
That's why America's so overweight.
Yeah.
I think so.
We need to minimize
our
it's the foundation of worst health conditions too. So conscientious, responsible eating habits. You know, we've never ever bought Oreos, but when I go to hunting camp and they got some out there on the counter, I grab a couple. But that only happens a couple times a year.
That's my son's weakness, Oreos.
I do like Oreos. I like chocolate chip cookies.
Which is why we never buy. I mean, literally, you
can't buy them.
You will never find Oreos in our shopping cart.
Right.
I think everything in moderation.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't deny it.
I do everything extreme.
But what's not in moderation is your music and funny pet videos.
Funny pets. Love the funny pet.
Do we have a funny pet video this week?
We do.
Okay, let's roll it.
That's a funny pet.
That is a fun. Oh, I want that right now.
Right.
Will you do that for me later, honey?
Happy would love that.
Right.
That looks fun. What is?
Watch this. Watch this.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Oh, that's puppy abuse right there.
That is hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is
Cats
hysterical.
are something else. They're like.
Just.
We had a great
just see what's
going on.
Just see it.
Oh my god.
But he doesn't.
What does he think he's going to do? Oh,
is that a chimpanzee?
It's a parkour cat. He wants to do parkour. Aww.
This is funny. Look at the dog. He wants to be angry, but he can't. Is that like happy?
Oh, look at that little kitty. How could you be angry? Look at that dog's going to kill it.
Dog is angry.
And that's it for the
that's
week.
it. That's awesome.
Well, there's no funnier pet videos than what we live every day with Happy, Sadie, and Coco.
Yeah.
They are the best.
I may have to one of these days play a video from my dog because Zoe would make everybody laugh. She's hysterical.
Those are the happiest spoiled dogs in the history of
We need to bring them to the set.
Yes, we should. And we should just think about filming funny pet videos.
And I got to tell you, all you need to do is bring them here and just ignore them while we're filming, and everything they do is funny.
Yeah.
And it would be great TV. Now, a producer would go, that's distracting. No, it's great television.
Right.
Let the dogs go nuts. Especially when Sadie gets excited about Happy, and there's some inappropriate behavior that takes place.
Oh my gosh.
Miss America?
Yes.
Miss America's a hussy.
For some reason.
Hussy.
And one time I was doing a Facebook Live, and I was doing a workout video, and Sadie was clawing at the door. I had the door closed. So I opened the door and I let her in. So she traipsed around. I thought, I did that. Okay, she can, when I'm working out, that's fine. She can walk around. Well, Happy came in, and for some reason, Sadie doesn't know how it works, and she started live video. She started humping Happy on my live video. So
now, when I play Wang Dang Sweet Poontang, all 3 dogs just go nuts.
They do.
Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
All right. Well, thank you, honey, for being here. Thank you, Diana. Of course. This has been so much fun. Next week, we've got a whole new set of guests. I hope you join us. Thanks to Patriot Mobile. Thank you, honey, for being here. See you guys next week. Bye for now.